Hey there. The topic for today's video is Python for loop, and here is the list of all the topics that I am going to cover in today's video. Definition of a loop, what is a for loop, uses of a for loop, how can we use the for loop to iterate through sequences like list, strings, and then with numbers. Finally, how we can loop through indices, and finally the nested for loops. Starting with what is a loop and why it is used. Loops are pretty common across all the programming languages, not just Python. In all programming languages, you will find loops to iterate over items. So loops are essentially a block of code that is executed repeatedly till a given condition is met. Benefit Benefit is that it avoids repeating the code and improves the readability of the code, both the things. With this thing, let us jump into Python. The Python for loop is used for iterating or looping over sequences like lists or strings, sets, tuples, dictionaries, or number ranges. Let me define here a list called my list is equal to simple, easy, Python, and then let me put something like that here, that hello world. What if I want to print all the words here? So I can write here simple, then again in the next line easy, and then in the third line Python hello world, something like that. So it will take me 5 lines here. If I just go like that, easy, Python, fourth line will be your hello world. Now if I try to run this, it is going to print me all the 5 words here on separate line. But you see over here it is getting repetitive. What if instead of 5 words I have got 100 words? Do I need to write it 100 times? No. Here comes the looping part. It's what I explained when I defined loop. So loops are a way of doing the things without repeating the codes multiple times. It will keep getting executed. So how do I define here? I can write here for loop starts with the keyword for. Then I have to define here a variable, temporary variable, let's call it I, in my list, and then I can simply write here print I. Now if I run this program, you will see it here. Now I am getting it, or again the same output, but only 2 lines of codes rather than 5 lines of codes. So see how effective it is. The same way we can do it for strings also. For example, my star is equal to Python, and again I can write here for I in my star print I. Now it is going to print me Python all onto the different line, all the different letters here. Now here pay attention, the for loop starts with the keyword for, then there is a temporary variable called I. You can name it anything, A, B, C, D, whatever you wish, in the variable here my star, and then print I, and this I will keep moving from P to Y to T to H to O and then N. To be honest, I do not even need to define here my star. I can simply come over here and write here something like this, Python, and it will work equally well here, you see. In the same manner, here also I can just get rid of this my star and put it over here instead of my list, and it will do the job. Let me make everything comment here, and then you see it does the job here. In the same manner, we can loop through the numbers also. For example, nums is equal to 10, 20, 30, and again for, let's say, call it n this time, for n in nums let's make it nums here, although it hardly matters. Print n. Now you will see it that I will be getting 10, 20 and 30 in 3 different lines. If I want it onto the same line, then I can write something like this, and then it will be onto the same line. You can see it over here. So this is the way we iterate over a sequence. You can try it with sets and tuples and all those, but more often than not, with the numbers we iterate through the ranges. For example, if I define here a range is equal to of 5. Again the same thing for I in R, print I, and you will see I will be getting 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Why up to 4? Because when you define a range and give only one value, it is the stop value. I have already discussed range in quite a lot of detail in my last video. I will give the icon up above and put it as the end screen also. You can click and watch it. And in fact, again here I do not need to define the range like this. I can simply go and write here range 5, and it will again do the same thing. You will be having the same output here. What if I want to print from 5 to 10? So I will give here 5 to 11, and then you see it is going to print me 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. What if I want to go in the reverse direction? Easy. Again I can write something like this here. For I in range, let us say I want to print from 5 till 1, and but in the reverse direction, and I can say here print I 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The next topic is looping through the indices. Sometimes it is required to loop through the indices also. So let me copy this list again here. I will explain it with both number ranges and list here. For I in range, if I want to go through the indices, then first of all I need to find the length. So length here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then I'm going to convert it into a range, because this whole line will be replaced by 5 when the program runs. And since I am giving just one value, so it will iterate from, it will be acting as a stop value. Again you can watch my previous video on for range function 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. If you want to print both the indices and the value there, then you can use something like this. Let me copy this line of code from here and go down, because it will make things easier. For I in again range len, now I am going to put here the variable my list, print I comma my list, and here I give the inside the square brackets I am giving the I, and it is going to print me something like this. 0 at 0 index simple is there, at index 1 easy is there. Although this is not the best way to print both indices and the value, you can use enumerate function, about which I will be creating a video in future, but I just wanted to show it to you. If you want to print the indices for number ranges, again you can do something like this. Let me define here my something called my range is equal to, I am going to define a range starting from 10 till 16. So I can do something like this. I in, again I have to create a range and pass here the length of my range, and I can print here I. Here you see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Similarly, if I want to print the value also here, then I can say something like my range, inside the square brackets I will put I here, and here you see 10 is at index 0, 11 is at 1, 12 is at index 2 and so on so forth. The final topic which is left here is that nested loops. So what, there could be one for loop inside another. In fact, there can be multiple. I'm going to give you a very simple example. For I in range 3, inside it I can say for j in range 10 to 13, print I comma j. I run this program. Let us understand the working of this loop. I in range 3, here I is going to take three values 0, 1 and 2. For j in range 10 to 13, here j is going to take again three values 10, 11 and 12. So you need to understand, when I is 0, then comes the inner for loop. Inside the inner for loop again there are three values 10, 11 and 12. So for one single value of I, j loop will go three times 10, 11 and 12. For one iteration of I, there will be three iteration of j. You can see it here. 0 is 1, 1, 2, 3 times, and 10, 11, 12. It is something like this. So dear fellow learners, this is it for this video. As usual, I am going to upload all the codes onto my GitHub page and share the link into the description box. If you find this video useful, do not forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends and subscribe to my channel. Till that time, happy coding.